Very good evening and thank you for tuning in. You're watching the news at 5. I'm Disha Salian and it's a big twist in the Disha Salian case. In the latest, BJP's Narayan Rane, who has levelled a huge allegation against Uddhav Thackeray, saying that it was Uddhav Thackeray who had called him after Disha Salian's death, asking Narayan Rane to not involve or include Aaditya Thackray's name anywhere.
उनका जो पीए है अभी शायद एमएलए लगता है नार्वेकर, वो गाड़ी में था। उन्हें मेरे को फ़ोन किया, मैं भी घर जा रहा था, तो मुझे उन्हें पूछा, दादा उद्धव जी आपसे बात करना चाहते हैं, आप करेंगे क्या? बोले कहाँ है? तो वो बगल में गाड़ी चला। बोले दे दे फ़ोन। तो बोलते मुझे आपको कहना है कि आपको भी लड़के हैं, मेरे को भी लड़के हैं, जरा आप जो प्रेस में जो बोलते हैं वो उल्लेख मत कीजिए, इसका मतलब उसका बेटे का नाम नहीं लीजिए। मैं बोला मैं एक मंत्री बोला, किसका नाम नहीं लिया हूँ। मैं बोला एक मंत्री उस वक्त था, वो घटना जो हुई है सुशांत की और सालियन की, उसमें एक मंत्री था और उसका एविडेंस है, कई लोगों ने देखा है। उसको तो हाफ पैंट में देखा उनके बेटे को, तो अभी दूसरे के घर में पार्टी में हाफ पैंट कौन डाल के जाता है? 2 बार यही बात हो गई। मैं बोला आपके बेटे को संभालो, कहाँ शाम के टाइम जाता है 6 बजे के बाद, जरा संभालो ना, बस।
Cutting across to Shavan, joining us from the newsroom. Shavan, if this statement is true, and this is exactly at the time when Disha Salian's case had been reported, there is certainly some foul play as far as the investigation is concerned and how they've been trying to shield Aaditya Thackeray.
Well, in fact, it's a relentless attack from the Ranes. Narayan Rane, the former union minister, has now levelled a direct charge at Uddhav Thackeray. Earlier, you've had Narayan Rane's son, who is a minister in the Maharashtra government right now, levelling a charge against Aaditya Thackeray. Now, this all is after a petition that has been filed by Disha Salian's father, in which he's demanding custodial interrogation of Aaditya Thackeray. This is based on certain evidence that they have gathered so far, and they claim that they are going to make a disclosure only in the court as far as the evidence is concerned. Now, as far as the Rane is upping the game here, you have Narayan Rane levelling a charge that he had allegedly received a call from Uddhav Thackeray, and that call came in after Disha Salian's mysterious death. This was also the time when Narayan Rane had levelled a direct charge saying that a top politician is involved in the mysterious death of Disha Salian. Now, this was a press conference that Narayan Rane had done earlier when he had not taken Aaditya Thackeray's name, but it turned out that at that point in time, he had certainly teased, saying that there is a top politician involved. Now he says that after that particular press conference, Uddhav Thackeray made a call, and this call was connected by Uddhav Thackeray's personal assistant Milind Narvekar, and in that particular call, Uddhav Thackeray apparently told Narayan Rane not to take anyone's name, and particularly his son. Now, it also turns out that Narayan Rane has levelled another big charge. This is with regards to the doctor who had carried out the post-mortem, who we are being told had already been changed. Now, this is again a claim that has been made by Narayan Rane. Perhaps we can also pull out that soundbite of Narayan Rane, particularly talking about the doctor involved in the post-mortem, because remember, there are several unanswered questions here, Suesha, particularly with regards to how the post-mortem was conducted, because you have the family members here saying that when they received the body, the mortal remains of Disha Salian, they did not find any injury marks. Then there was also a question about how the body was actually found. All that put together, it turns out that there are certain concerns as to how things are essentially developing.
Continue talking to us, Shavan, as we'll try and play out that soundbite shortly. But in terms of how the story is developing very fast, the Uddhav camp has been on the defensive. They say that it is the BJP that is aiming against them, and which is why the case has been raked up after 5 years. But even in that exclusive interview that Satish Salian gave to Arnab Goswami, where he said that the truth will be out in less than 2 weeks, there is proof.
Well, in fact, Suesha, let's just once again play out Narayan Rane's soundbite that has come in, because that's extremely crucial. And perhaps while we are doing that, we'll also try and get you the second soundbite of Narayan Rane, where he's specifically talking about the doctor who has actually been changed. So these are some very big charges that have been leveled by Narayan Rane. A big development in the Disha Salian case now, with the former union minister stepping in. Listen to what Narayan Rane had to say.
उनका जो पीए है अभी शायद एमएलए लगता है, नार्वेकर, वो गाड़ी में था। उन्हें मेरे को फ़ोन किया, मैं भी घर जा रहा था, तो मुझे उन्होंने पूछा, दादा उद्धव जी आपसे बात करना चाहते हैं, आप करेंगे क्या? बोले कहाँ है? तो वो बगल में गाड़ी चला। बोले दे फ़ोन। तो बोलते मुझे एक आपको कहना है कि आपको भी लड़के हैं, मेरे को भी लड़के हैं, जरा आप जो प्रेस में जो बोलते हैं वो उल्लेख मत कीजिए, इसका मतलब उसका बेटे का नाम नहीं लीजिए। मैं बोला, मैं एक मंत्री बोला, किसका नाम नहीं लिया हूँ। मैं बोला एक मंत्री उस वक्त था, वो घटना जो हुई है सुशांत की और सालियन की, उसमें एक मंत्री था और उसका एविडेंस है, कई लोगों ने देखा है उसको, तो हाफ पैंट में देखा उनके बेटे को। तो अभी दूसरे के घर में पार्टी में हाफ पैंट कौन डाल के जाता है? 2 बार यही बात हो गई। मैं बोला आपके बेटे को संभालो, कहाँ शाम के टाइम जाता है 6 बजे के बाद, जरा संभालो ना, बस।
And you heard that explosive statement coming in from Narayan Rane of the BJP. He's leveled a huge allegation against Uddhav Thackeray and Aaditya Thackeray. That statement where he clearly mentioned that it is not just Aaditya Thackeray, but even his father, who had allegedly tried to shield his son. And calls were made to all the top politicians to ensure the same. I want to come back to you, Shravan, because this is a huge twist in the Disha Salian case.
Well, in fact, now you have the former Union Minister Narayan Rane stepping in, levelling a charge, and this is a direct charge against Uddhav Thackeray, where he says that after Disha Salian's case, he received a call. This call was connected by Uddhav Thackeray's personal assistant, Milind Narvekar, where Rane claims that Uddhav Thackeray said not to take certain names, perhaps also indicating that his son should not be named, simply saying that, look here, you have a son, I have a son too. Do not make these names. Do not take these names. Now, these are direct threats, perhaps indirect threats, that were being given to a former union minister from a sitting chief minister at that point in time. Uddhav Thackeray, remember, was the chief minister when this incident took place. And here the charge is against his son, Aaditya Thackeray. Narayan Rane essentially claiming that there was pressure that was being put. The pressure was basically put on Disha Salian's family members. Perhaps we can also play out the full soundbite right now, because here you have Disha Salian's father's name also being taken by Narayan Rane, saying that Kishori Peddekar, the former Mumbai mayor, had allegedly put pressure on Disha Salian's father, and that is the reason why he could never speak to the media. In fact, in a short while from now, Disha Salian's lawyer Nilesh Ojha is also going to join us. Let's once again play out that soundbite of Narayan Rane. This is the big development now taking place in the Disha Salian case, while there are also reactions now coming in. Let's also take you through more details that are now emerging.
उनका जो पीए है अभी शायद एमएलए लगता है, नार्वेकर, वो गाड़ी में था। उन्हें मेरे को फ़ोन किया, मैं भी घर जा रहा था, तो मुझे उन्होंने पूछा, दादा उद्धव जी आपसे बात करना चाहते हैं, आप करेंगे क्या? बोले कहाँ है? तो वो बगल में गाड़ी चला। बोले दे दे फ़ोन। तो बोलते हैं मुझे एक आपको कहना है कि आपको भी लड़के हैं, मेरे को भी लड़के हैं, जरा आप जो प्रेस में जो बोलते हैं वो उल्लेख मत कीजिए, इसका मतलब उसका बेटे का नाम नहीं लीजिए। मैं बोला मैं एक मंत्री बोला, किसका नाम नहीं लिया हूँ। मैं बोला एक मंत्री उस वक्त था, वो घटना जो हुई है सुशांत की और सालियन की, उसमें एक मंत्री था और उसका एविडेंस है, कई लोगों ने देखा है उसको, तो हाफ पैंट में देखा उनके बेटे को। तो अभी दूसरे के घर में पार्टी में हाफ पैंट कौन डाल के जाता है? 2 बार यही बात हो गई। मैं बोला आपके बेटे को संभालो, कहाँ शाम के टाइम जाता है 6 बजे के बाद, जरा संभालो ना, बस।
Shravan, I want to come back to you because these are incriminating details, and how they will hold in the court of law is extremely important, especially if you focus on those particular words where he says that there is evidence of a politician's involvement, of a politician who was seen in an informal attire, shorts to be precise, as he said, and many people have seen him and there is evidence. How can this count?
Well, in fact, in a short while from now, Suesha, when Disha Salian's father, lawyer, who's likely to join us on this broadcast, perhaps may be able to weigh in on this entire matter, because in the petition that has been filed, they are basically demanding the custodial interrogation of Aaditya Thackeray. Now, the revelation that has been made by Narayan Rane of a call that came in from Uddhav Thackeray. We are not talking about the father of Aaditya Thackeray, but we are talking about a sitting chief minister, that is Uddhav Thackeray. Uddhav Thackeray at that time was the chief minister. That call that went in from the chief minister to a former union minister, at that point in time Narayan Rane was a union minister. This call came in and this was some sort of an indirect threat. The fact that you are asking a union minister not to take any names in a press conference that was being done is something that requires a thorough investigation as to why exactly would the sitting chief minister prevent a union minister from presenting before the public what would have been seen as incriminating evidence, because at that point in time the post-mortem report basically indicated something else completely different. And now Narayan Rane goes on to make another big charge, and the charge being that the doctor who conducted the post-mortem was also changed. If that is the case, who exactly gave the orders for the doctor to be changed, and whether at all at that point in time the Mahavikas Aghadi did have actually a role in making these changes. And that is the reason why there is now a demand that is growing, and this demand is now coming in from the former union minister, his son Nitesh Rane, who is a sitting minister. They're demanding that an FIR should be registered, and those who are culpable, they should basically be behind bars.
Oh yes, absolutely, Shravan, and not adding one and one together, but fact also remains that if a call of this nature could go to an opposing political rival, then one can only imagine how the system may have colluded on the instructions of a sitting chief minister. And we are not saying that, but fact remains that this particular statement by Narayan Rane really gives a whole new turn as far as foul play in that investigation is concerned, and what the truth could be.
Well, I'm told that BJP senior leader Mr. Ashish Shelar is joining us on this broadcast. If we can also have him on the screen right now. Mr. Shelar, thank you very much for speaking to Republic TV. Former Union Minister Narayan Rane is now levelling a direct charge against Uddhav Thackeray. The matter has become extremely serious. A sitting chief minister trying to threaten a former union minister, asking him not to take any names. We seem to have lost that call with Ashish Shelar. We'll try and reconnect with him. Meanwhile, we're also trying. There are a lot of responses actually, Suesha, coming in. You've had the BJP there taking up this entire matter in the House. The assembly was basically underway in the last few days, and you've had BJP legislator Amit Satam, who has taken up the matter in the House, demanding that an FIR should be registered, and the SIT, which has already been formed by the current government, should basically look into the evidence that is being spoken about by Disha Salian's father, Satish Salian. We'll try and see if Nilesh Ojha has actually joined us or not, because we were told that he would be joining us in a short while from now on this recent development, because this is undoubtedly one of the biggest developments taking place this Saturday in the Disha Salian case, which we have been reporting relentlessly. Let's once again play out that soundbite of Union Minister, former Union Minister Narayan Rane, who spoke about the call that he received.
उनका जो पीए है अभी शायद एमएलए लगता है, नार्वेकर, वो गाड़ी में था। उन्हें मेरे को फ़ोन किया, मैं भी घर जा रहा था, तो मुझे उन्हें पूछा, दादा उद्धव जी आपसे बात करना चाहते हैं, आप करेंगे क्या? बोले कहाँ है? तो वो बगल में गाड़ी चला। बोले दे दे फ़ोन। तो बोलते मुझे आपको कहना है कि आपको भी लड़के हैं, मेरे को भी लड़के हैं, जरा आप जो प्रेस में जो बोलते हैं वो उल्लेख मत कीजिए, इसका मतलब उसका बेटे का नाम नहीं लीजिए। मैं बोला मैं एक मंत्री बोला, किसका नाम नहीं लिया हूँ। मैं बोला एक मंत्री उस वक्त था, वो घटना जो हुई है सुशांत की और सालियन की, उसमें एक मंत्री था और उसका एविडेंस है, कई लोगों ने देखा है। उसको तो हाफ पैंट में देखा, उनके बेटे को। तो अभी दूसरे के घर में पार्टी में हाफ पैंट कौन डाल के जाता है? 2 बार यही बात हो गई। मैं बोला आपके बेटे को संभालो, कहाँ शाम के टाइम जाता है 6 बजे के बाद, जरा संभालो ना, बस।
Shravan, I want to thank you for getting us those details, and of course we try and get more voices from the BJP and what Disha Salian's lawyer in this case has to say. But